Of course, we're all waiting for GTA 6 to release, but as it turns out, it looks like that's gonna be a few years away, probably 2024. So what do we have until then? Well, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about three Rockstar Games titles that are allegedly being worked on in VR. So while it's not gonna be GTA 6, this might be something that holds us off. Now, unfortunately, if these rumors are true, they would be exclusive to the Quest, the Facebook VR system. But a little context before we even get into that rumor. This is what happened about like a week ago. Meta, which is the Facebook owner, or that's what they rebranded into, they own the Quest VR system. That whole company laid off 11,000 workers. And apparently one of those workers went to Reddit. And this is what he said. So you got absolutely no need to believe me, he claims, but I recently got laid off from Meta. So who cares? Says the guys over at the Oculus division have been hungry as of late to chase down more and more Quest 2 exclusives before time for the headset inevitably runs out. Some of these, though, may be pushed to the Quest 3. The first VR title from Rockstar, he says, is Manhunt VR. He says there's not any development on it. It's sort of, they just added it to their workload, but that would be crazy, a Manhunt VR. So that's the first one. Now the second one, which we actually knew about from last year, San Andreas VR. That's something that's actually been officially confirmed by Mark Zuckerberg himself. Matter of fact, here's a video.
I'm excited to announce that the Rockstar Games classic Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is in development for Quest 2. This new version of what I think is one of the greatest games ever made will offer players an entirely new way to experience this iconic open world in virtual reality.
So that is the second Rockstar title that's going to be made into VR. And then apparently there's a third, or the second one that's unknown, but the third project. He says he has no idea what it is, but it is a full-fledged out game port, and it isn't a new IP. Says doesn't know when these games will be mentioned, but they are in the early slate right now. So there are potentially 3 Rockstar Games titles being worked on for VR. Now, of course, they're not being worked on by Rockstar, like the actual Rockstar devs. Those people are working on GTA 6. So these are, you know, other developers making these titles. And again, this is all allegedly exclusive for the Quest system, which is kind of the unfortunate part of the whole VR system we're in. There's a ton of VR headsets, but some have exclusive titles. It's very odd. No one really likes it. But as far as the 3 titles, if we end up getting them. So the first one was Manhunt. Now, if you don't know what Manhunt is, here's the little wiki snippet. It was made in 2003 as a stealth game. It was taking place in the fictional Carcer City, and it follows a death row prisoner who's forced to participate in a series of snuff films, earning his freedom by murdering criminal gang members sent to hunt him on camera. So basically it's a stealth murder simulator, which it was the source of tons of controversy back in 2003. I could only imagine how controversial a game like that would be in today's day. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but apparently they're making it. Now, because it's an older game, I believe, you know, that it shouldn't take too long to actually develop. So maybe this one you might see sooner rather than later, assuming this is all true. But that's the first one, Manhunt. Now, of course, the second one we know, San Andreas. So that sort of covers, I think, most of the older GTA games. They're going to make San Andreas VR. They're probably not going to make GTA 3 VR or even GTA Vice City VR. They're just going to stick to the San Andreas one because that's the biggest one of those 3. So as far as this next project that's a full-fledged port that isn't a new IP, honestly, when it comes to Rockstar titles, there's not that many more to choose from. You really have 3, I think, that could work here. You have the original RDR1. That would be amazing if they could port that somehow into VR. You also have Max Payne, potentially. I mean, that's a shooter game. That definitely could work in VR. But then again, that's similar to Manhunt. I don't know if they necessarily would do that, but that is an older game, so maybe it'd be easier to work in VR. But then the crazy one, you also potentially have GTA 5. Now, hear me out. I don't know if it's actually going to happen because I'm sure that's just a crazy amount of work to port into VR. But a couple of months ago, one of the modders in the GTA community who was making VR mods for GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, he actually got a DMCA takedown notice, I think by Take-Two, for his VR mods. Normally that sort of stuff happens because Take-Two want to officially bring stuff like to the public. So maybe there's a chance GTA 5 on VR could be happening. I guess let us know in the comments, what Rockstar title would you want to see in VR? I mean, obviously we already have LA Noire in VR. I think that was officially made by Rockstar, but they don't have that many other titles. And if they're going to do a San Andreas VR and a Manhunt VR, what is that third title that you would love to see? I mean, honestly, any of them would be great. I definitely think a Red Dead Redemption would be amazing, just because that would be so cool to just ride around on a horse in VR, taking in all the sights. But this is definitely some interesting rumors. Of course, I guess as always with this sort of stuff, take it with a grain of salt. Even if this is true, if they are all in the early stages, I mean, things could definitely get canceled. I mean, if Meta laid off 11,000 people, then, you know, what's to say they just keep going and just cut everyone if they're really doing that to save money. But yeah, this is kind of interesting. There are allegedly 3 titles from Rockstar being worked on in VR. So even if GTA 6 is a couple of years away, maybe these games come out, maybe these VR titles come out before then, and we can enjoy those older Rockstar titles that we all love in a new way. Of course, I'll keep you guys up to date on any sort of GTA or Rockstar related news. So hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA content. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.